morning everybody. I hope everyone is doing really good. So the sun is shining and it's currently Saturday, so it's a hot one out there. So we've been pretty much staying inside for most of the morning, to be honest. Theo really struggles with the heat, so it's better really to keep him in where possible. As you can hear, he's having a drink now, bless him. Bless him. He's got his cool mat down here as well, and his little fan. See, his little cool station, and he's just starting to learn as well what cool mat actually means. So he does actually go on it now, which is really good. I really wish that I'd got him one of those little like cooling bandanas or something. I think he would have quite liked it if it was the same material as the cool mat. So I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't get one of those before today. So not much to report really. I've done most of my housework this morning because got really early to get him walked before obviously it got any hotter. So we had a quick walk around the Belgate and the cathedral this morning, and then we've come back and just boshed through the housework just to get it done. So the washing's been out, it's already dried, I've just put it away, and I've literally just done top to bottom and hoovered everywhere. So nice and easy today, and currently waiting for the kitchen floor to dry, which hopefully won't take too long in this heat. So I thought today I'd show you a little bit of my book collection. So I don't claim to be any kind of crazy avid reader, but it is something that I have started doing within the last 12 months or so. So I never ever used to be much of a reader at all, and I think it's really because I never really found a genre that I liked or was really taken to, and then discovered psychological thrillers, and this tends to be my bag, I think. So I'm not a romance girly, I'm not into anything like that, I'm not into kind of sci-fi or anything. I think I definitely read 99% psychological thrillers. Now some of them, and I hear this term a lot on kind of the Facebook group, so there's a psychological thrillers readers kind of Facebook group that there's a lot of recommendations that come up in there, but there is a genre that kind of crosses the boundaries I think with psychological thrillers, which is more splatterpunk, and some of the books that are recommended within there do kind of fall into the splatterpunk genre, which is kind of quite extreme. It's not something that I would choose to read. I may give it a go eventually, but at the moment I kind of stick to the authors that I quite like, but I'm really open to recommendations for psychological thriller books if you have any good ones. So my friend managed to get me a whole bag full, and I'll show you in a second, of secondhand psych thrillers off a Facebook Marketplace. So I've got a ton of those to go through and add to the bookshelf, and actually I'm running out of room now, which Russ is absolutely appalled by, because he says you've only been doing it for 12 months. And the thing with the books is I don't like parting with them once I've got them, which is a bit weird, but I like to have them displayed and out, and I like to look at them and then remind myself of what I've read and things like that. So although most of them do blur into one, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to pick out a few of my favourites, and drop in the comments if you've read them as well and what you think about them, because there's some that you may have heard of, some that you may not. Some are kind of more of the TikTok trend type books and other ones are not. Maybe a couple from some less well-known authors as well, maybe, but if you are in the psychological thriller reader group then you will probably have heard of them. So yeah, come with me and I'll show you my little collection. Okay, so this is the bag. So it's been sat down here for quite a while because I haven't got to it yet, but it is, hello. See, it's quite full. So this is why Russ is not very happy, because he was like, you've got enough already. Hello Theo, you want to be in the shop? So I'll show you what I got, and obviously I kind of looked up some of these on Amazon before I said to my friend to get them. So I think most of them have got between a 4 and 5 star review, so I'm hoping that they are pretty good. What, mate? Having a look? I know, there's more. So let's have a little look through them, and then please tell me in the comments if you've got any recommendations which to go for first, because most of these authors in here I've never read before, so don't know what I'm kind of working with, what to expect. But if there is any standouts, please can you let me know, because I like to order them in best to worst really. And if you think any of them are awful, then please let me know as well, because I don't like wasting my time, and I find it really hard to DNF a book, do not finish, because I always think it's worth giving it a go. So, but in the same breath, if it isn't getting me by the first kind of few chapters, then I almost say, well, what's the point? So I got all of these, I think it was for about £7, which is an absolute bargain. I can't remember how many it is, I'll have a count as we go through. But this is the first one, The Beautiful Dead. And you'll find that all of the recommendations on the back are always to do with the other psychological thriller writers, I always find, Shari Lapina being one of them. There's this one, Good Friday. Not sure, I think there might be a few, yeah there is. I think these are the ones that I looked up on Amazon. There was a few by her that looked like they'd be quite decent. Now that is quite intimidating for me, that's quite a thick one. And actually, being honest, the only downside with these is when I do pick them up second hand, and I do a lot, I do look for quite decent quality ones. So obviously, because my friend got these and they were just on a picture on Facebook, I couldn't quite see what the quality was like, so some are better than others. So probably if I'd seen this one, I probably wouldn't have bought that second hand, because like I say, I like to keep them, so I do like to make sure that the condition is half decent. So some of these are a little bit more questionable, but you know, for £7 it is what it is. And if I really want like a new release or something like that, I will treat myself to the new new version, so it's new and I can keep it because I'm a weirdo like that. So there's that one. This one as well. Let's hope I take to her, eh? Although we could probably go back in the charity bag. I think this was one of the ones that I'd read that was quite good. This author. I think there may be a couple in there, but now I'm doubting myself. But I think I looked at that one and it looked pretty good. Yeah, so I'll have to have a look at that one. Again, these ones are quite lengthy. And what I don't know about these ones, if any of them have short chapters. Now, I'm quite a short chapter fan, just because I feel like I'm getting through more of it. I don't like long chapters, because if I'm reading at night and I'm tired, sometimes I end up nodding off. So I like to be able to at least try and finish the chapter where I can. There's this one, I'm going to find you, J.D. Pullen. And obviously if you want to read any of these, please do just pause the video and you can read. That looks pretty decent size. Now, I got this one because I've read Shari Lapina before, and I've got a couple of hers on my bookshelf. I find them quite an easy read, quite straightforward. They don't kind of fill me with major suspense, I'd say. As a style isn't really like that for me personally, but they're quite good for a bit of a filler. If I've read kind of what I would deem a 5-star, I might fill with something from her. This one, I think this one also got pretty high rating on Amazon, if I remember rightly. Looks interesting, that one, doesn't it? I mean, if you're not into psychological thrillers, you're probably thinking, I couldn't think of anything worse, but this is my bag. I don't know what that says about me. No one start actually psychoanalyzing me, please. I also love crime documentaries and anything like that as well. I'm that kind of person. This one I think looked pretty good. The Visitors. They're still coming. that looks interesting. Sometimes the shorter the bit on the back, it really depends. So I'm intrigued by that now. But it could go one way or another, I find, with them sometimes. We'll see. Linwood Barclay. Never read anything by them before. There's a lot of things in houses. Maybe this is a bit of a theme here. This one. Graham Masterton. The Nanny. Well, that is a big white knuckle suspense. Oof, well, high expectations there. Claire Douglas. I'm a Claire Douglas fan. I do like her. And then the final one is this one. Oh, there was another one by her just. Oh yeah, these two. So again, let's hope. I like her writing style. We'll see, won't we? After reading the first one. So yeah, all of those. So what have we got there? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for £7. You can't go wrong there, really, can you? At all. So I've got those to try and fit on a not very big bookshelf. So that's going to be a challenge. It means I'm going to have to move things around. Then where am I going to put the other things? Now this thing I've had for like, it was an IKEA job when we first moved in, and the backing is coming off a little bit. Like, it's probably seen better days. But it'll do for now until we find something else. So I will go through some of my top reads with you if you're interested. Okay, so I just wanted to zoom out the camera a bit because I think you can see it a little bit better. So quite a lot of the things, there's a bit of a mixed bag on here, to be fair. Like I said, I've only been reading for the last 12 months. So the top 2 shelves are the collection that I've accumulated, and then also that third shelf there. The rest of them are from other things. So there's some cookbooks on there, some autobiographies, which I'm not a massive fan of, to be fair. I would rather listen to them on audiobook than read them. And then the bottom ones are all to do with from my degree, when I did my degree and my master's, so they're all art related. And then there's some things in there about kind of mentoring and coaching and things like that as well. So a bit of a mixed bag towards the bottom. And I think actually I probably really need to move them at some point. So I don't know if it'd be worth. The thing is, and let me know actually, does anybody keep cookbooks in the kitchen? And if you do, where do you keep them? Do you keep them out, and do they get damaged from obviously cooking and like oils and stuff like that? I would like to know, because obviously I have got some, baking books in here and some, just standard cooking things. So that might be a place where I can move them. We will see. And I've also got this corner, which is a little bit underused, but it is where the understairs storage bit is. So I do keep my hoover and mop and everything under there as well. So I don't know, maybe something in the corner. But I have that corner unit over there as well, and questionable whether I still like that because I don't use it as much as we used to. So yeah, something to think about really. It'd be lovely if we get something to fit like that whole thing. It might be that it just has to be shorter, especially if it was kind of maybe slightly shorter than this depth by a little bit. And then if it ran round at that level, that might be an idea. Whether we can get it or not is another thing, but something to look at. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So these are the ones that I've collected. So some are new and some are from the charity shops. You can pick up some bargains in there. So Dorothy Coomson, she was recommended to me by a colleague that I used to work with, and the only one that I've actually read at the moment is the Rose Petal Beach. I'm not gonna lie, it took forever. It was okay. It wasn't something that I'd probably go back to, which is why I haven't even attempted to read those ones yet. I am quite a fan of Harlan Coben. I do, obviously, for those of you that have Netflix, there's a ton of stuff on there based on his books, and I actually have watched Fool Me Once, but I haven't read that one yet. I've read The Match and I Will Find You, and I can't remember which one out of these. This is the problem now. This is why I need to get a book reading app. So I used to use Goodreads, but I use Storygraph now just because it's a little bit more visual, and I like at the end of the year how you can extract all the book covers that you've read, and it just makes it look really nice if you want to share that with people. So if you're interested in or on Storygraph, drop in the comments what your username is and I'll give you a follow. Frida McFadden is kind of, I'd say, the most popular, especially on the psychological thriller Facebook group. There's a lot of Frida fans online, etc., and they will post everything about her books. The Housemaid is obviously super popular, and there is a third one in the series. There might even be a fourth one, actually. I've read The Housemaid. I picked this one up only literally a matter of weeks ago, so I haven't got round to reading. I think that is the second one. But I've read The Housemaid, and there's a lot of hype about The Housemaid, and it was okay. It didn't have me on the edge of my seat or anything like that. Again, I'd probably say I call them kind of fillers in between 5-star reads, because sometimes with the 5-star ones, I find that they're quite exhausting because they're so intense, and something like that can be a bit of a filler in between if you're not looking for anything that intense straight afterwards and you need to process a little bit. The Boyfriend and the Crash are her newer ones. I've read both of those and I actually really did enjoy them. I enjoyed them both more than The Housemaid, I have to say. And then I picked this one up I think this one was from the charity shop the other week as well, at the same time that I got this one, I think. So I haven't got around to reading that yet. Claire Douglas, I'm a real fan of. I actually really like her. And I've read this one and this one so far. This one to go again. Picked that up not long ago. So definitely give her a read. I find hers quite intense at times, but not the whole way through. So it's a bit of a up and down type reading experience with her. Shari Lapina, which is obviously the one that I'm just thinking now, was that a repeat of the other one? What was that one that I just got? This is the problem, see, you end up with getting so many that you can't. No, we don't have this one, do we? Oh, no. I just thought then. Have I got it? No, we're okay. Because sometimes you can't remember, unless you obviously import them all into your reading app, and then obviously you'll know what you've got. Yeah, so again, what I said when I just talked through the all the ones that my friend got for me. Again, a bit of a filler for me. I did enjoy them, and it's okay. This one, The Couple Next Door, gets quite good reviews online, but again, it was okay. Would I rush to read it again? No. Gillian Hoover Verity. This one is really popular online. Now, I actually really did enjoy this. So this is the front cover of this one. I'm sure quite a lot of you will have seen this. Yeah, I really did enjoy that. And I think, I can't get it back in now. This is what happens. Let's just leave it there. I think they're making this into, I can't remember if it was a film or Netflix. So yeah. That one might be quite an interesting watch. The thing with me though is that I found, which is a little bit hypocritical, is I will read all these types of things on the verge of quite some of these books come with quite heavy trigger warnings, but I wouldn't necessarily watch it, and I will not watch horror either. So Ross finds it hilarious. He's like, how can you read it and then not watch it? I'm like, because I think my brain can process it better and I can slow down the processing of that when I'm reading. If I want to take a break, I can, and I feel like if I'm watching it, it's just too intense, so I just avoid that. This one, The Last Passenger, I loved this. Now this one, I give this 5-star. This one is a little bit different to kind of all of these other ones in the sense that I wouldn't say it was purely psychological thriller, but please feel free to argue with me. It was a little bit far-fetched, I guess, and if anything, I suppose it's tipping into a little bit of, I don't know, I don't even know if I'd use the word fantasy because I don't think that's right to explain it. But basically it's based on these people that get, they're on a cruise ship, which ironic because I have my little cruise ship here. And when they wake up, there's only a few of them left, and they have to survive. And how they survive is the story of the book. So that one is really, really good, and I super enjoyed that. These ones here, so I really, really rate Gillian McAllister. I think her books are great. I find them a good mix of suspense. The pace is good, so I'd say medium fast. I'd get a bit annoyed when things are a bit too slow. So any of those I would absolutely recommend to anybody. I think Wrong Place, Wrong Time is relatively new from her. I can't remember about the others, but I've read all three and they're fantastic. So definitely give those three a go. And Alice Feeney, so there is another one by her that's quite popular, and I can't for the life of me remember what the name of it is now. Now, sometimes I lie, I actually quite enjoyed this, but it was slow. It was really slow going. So again, it depends on what your preferred pace of reading is, I guess, and the style that you like. But this is what this one looks like. And obviously it's quite intriguing from the get-go. I'm in a coma, my husband doesn't love me anymore, sometimes I lie. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was really, really good. And there you go, you can have a read of that if you're interested. But yeah, I did think that was excellent. And then moving on to this row, let me just move these. So Karen Slaughter is quite popular. I think she's done loads and loads and loads of stuff. However, I've only read those two of hers. Now, Pretty Girls, for me, was 5-star. There's mixed reviews online, and a lot of people don't say the same. A lot of people don't like it. I find, yeah, mixed bag. I absolutely loved Pretty Girls, and it was top notch for me. Although, check your trigger warnings. There's some bits in there that are a little bit gory at times and things like that. So I will leave that one up to you to make sure that you check. I read After That Night on the same kind of high as reading Pretty Girls, not long after, and this one wasn't quite as good for me. But yeah, Pretty Girls, outstanding, I thought. These ones, I've read both of these. So Silent Patient, again, is really, really popular online. You will probably recognise the cover. I enjoyed it. I thought that it was pretty good. I wouldn't say that it was absolutely outstanding, but I think I gave it about 4.5 stars, so still good. And then The Maidens, very, very different to The Silent Patient. Very different, as you can even see from the cover. I enjoyed it. Again, about a 4 star. I quite like his writing. And then Lisa Jewell, as you can see. Lisa Jewell has a little place in my heart, I think. I just like, she's it's easy reading. I wouldn't say it's like super intense, but there's elements of it that are. And I really enjoyed most of these, to be honest. This one was okay, not so much so. Then She Was Gone and Now This Is True, excellent, 5. These ones, excellent, 5. Especially these two, The Family Upstairs, The Family Remains. These ones, okay. Mediocre in compared to these 4, personally. And then the one that I really couldn't get on with was The Girls. And I actually, as you can see, I've put just a little thing in there because I didn't progress much with that one, really. And I had to stop because it just felt like it was a bit of a waste of time. So it may be one that I come back to eventually, but who knows. But compared to the others, that's just not a standout for me. So let me know if you think I should give it a go and persist with it and maybe start again. But compared to these, definitely not so sure. And John Mars, so top tier. I think, personally. And I haven't got as many of these books by him as I should, I don't think, at the moment. But I'm kind of pacing them out because I do think they are really so good that I don't want to kind of binge read them all and then not have anything to look forward to. So I think that's why I've kind of taken my time in collecting these. Top one out of these three for me is Keep It in the Family. Again, 5-star. But to be honest, the other two are brilliant. So this is this one. Again, you may recognise it if you are in any of the groups online. Again, with all of these, please check your trigger warnings. I'm not really responsible for anybody being upset by anything. So they are psychological thrillers. They do go into dark themes. And there is some things in them that you might not like and you might find disturbing. So check, please, before you do read any of these. These few at the end here, so I picked up these years ago from a charity shop and I actually haven't bothered with them, and I probably do need to make a bit of space and probably give these to the charity shop. They're actually in really new condition, but they're just not my vibe and not something that I would probably read. Bit out of the ordinary, Enigma, excellent. Anybody that's interested in, you know, the Enigma machine and around kind of coding and all of that kind of stuff, I really enjoyed that. And that is a complete anomaly, as you can see, out of everything else that I've got. But I do love anything like this. So obviously it's based at Bletchley Park. For those of you that haven't been, please go. It's excellent day out, and it's not too badly priced either. And we went a good while ago now, and I'd actually love to go back. It was lovely. You get to experience Bletchley and go around the grounds and everything like that and find out more about it. So that's where it's based, and obviously it's based on the cracking the Enigma code, basically. So yeah, that one's interesting. Girl A, I read years ago, and this is what I mean, I keep them. So this was based on, don't quote me here actually, I was going to say true story. Yes, it is. True story has a young girl from Rochdale came to be girl A. This one's quite, because well, obviously when you know it's based on a true story, it can be really heart-wrenching. So that one's quite a tough read, to be honest. Very interesting, very enlightening, but tough none the same. Someone actually got me this one. Alice Hunter. I've never read Alice Hunter before. They actually got this as part of Secret Santa at Christmas, and I actually read this in about 2 days. It was really quite good. I think I gave it about a 4. So yeah, not one that I'd heard of before, but when someone buys you one, it's worth giving it a go. I'll go on to these ones in a minute because these are my top. Credence, again, a lot of interaction online, let's say, for Credence. It is a bit of a racy one. I suppose most of you would term it as a bit smutty. It is. And if you don't like that thing, avoid it. So yeah, there's not much of this kind of vibe on my shelf, I have to say. But because of the hype, I had to give it a go. And then I have got, just going to go back to these because these are my top ones. Oh, we've lost one, never mind. And I've got a few more down here. Now, these ones I haven't really tackled yet. Actually, some of these are not even... That one's Russell's, although Russ doesn't read anything. He literally listens to audiobooks. This one I couldn't get on with at all. That was a bit of a TikTok hype. And then I actually DNF'd The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just couldn't get on with it. I didn't find it interesting. It was boring me to death. And I thought, why am I carrying on with this for the sake of it? So I haven't bothered. It's still on the bookshelf, but that's how far we got. And I was bored. Dexter, again, really good. If you've watched the Netflix series, you'll know exactly what that's about. It's about this. So if you're interested in that, then give that one a go. Again, there is some bits in there that you may want to trigger warnings for. So just going back to these two. So I've literally just finished this. This was the last one that I finished. The Favourite Girl and the Cage Girl by Monica Arya. So I don't think she's as much of a well-known author as she probably should be. And this is my personal opinion. Again, online, there is some criticism of her, like there is with everybody. Some people said it's slow, a bit samey. I absolutely don't agree. These, for me, were both 5-star reads. This is the first one, and this one's the second one at the moment. And obviously, you can see they're on a very, very similar theme. So this one won't make sense really at all until you've read The Favourite Girl. And I just thought these were so good, so intense, definite page turners, wanted to know more. I really enjoyed them. They are absolutely full of trigger warnings, full. The first kind of 3 pages in each one state the kind of things, and she does have a disclosure online, so please do check all of that stuff because they are heavy. They're intense, they're dark, and have themes of that nature throughout, let's say. But if you're looking for a ride and something to keep you on your toes and keep you interested, I would definitely recommend both of these. They're just excellent. So the cover kind of speaks for itself. This is obviously based on everything that's white, and this is based on everything that's dark. And if you're interested in reading that, please do just pause and you can have a read. But honestly, these are excellent. They're based on a main character called Demi, and you follow her throughout both of those books as her story progresses. So I don't want to give too much away, but she is linked to a very kind of infamous family who are notorious, and there's no kind of getting away from them, even from the first book to the second. So they are very interesting and definitely worth a go if you are into psychological thrillers, based on my opinion. If anyone has read those, I'd be so interested to know. So can you please drop in the comments if you've given both of those a go, or just one of them, and let me know what you thought about them. Because I don't see that many people talking about them, and I kind of wish they would, because I thought they were just really good. So the next job today is to try and get these to fit in here somehow. So come with me while I try and get them all on this bookshelf. Okay folks, so that's done. So I managed to get most of them on the shelves, but look, now we are at maximum capacity, unless we start stacking this way, which I don't know if I like. So whether we do that, I think we'll end up moving some of these ones to a different location, to be honest. And just another question for you all, actually. Do you put them in order of author, or do you put them in colour order? Can you let me know, please? Because I'd be really interested to know which one people prefer. So I managed to get most of them in, but I have had to take around 5 out. So the ones that I haven't committed to, and then those 3 that were on there that I said weren't really my bag. So there's no point keeping them on there when they've got other ones to take over that may be my bag. So that's now full and done. I'll just show you my little find as well. Isn't this cute? Little book nook. So I got that off TikTok shop, and actually it was way bigger than I thought it would be. I thought it would be the size of roughly a bookmark, and then it came and it was this big. So it has to sit on the shelves now, because it's too big to put anywhere else. So yeah, so folks, I hope you kind of enjoyed that. That's kind of my recommendation. As I said, I'm very, very new to this whole reading thing. It was not something that I've been doing for years. I've only picked it up in the last 12 months, as I've said. So if you do have any kind of really, really good recommendations of psychological thriller books that you've enjoyed, please do pop that in the comments for me, and I will definitely check them out and have a little look at those. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, and we would really appreciate anybody subscribing to our channel for more of this type of content. So I hope you've enjoyed, and enjoy the rest of your day, folks. See you soon. Bye.